Hey, Shalom, Makin. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory. The Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachak Kodash. The bonds, the elders, apostles, a great millstone. The elders, a great millstone. And of course, peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, serving him in truth and sincerity. So yeah, this is going to be a quick lesson, through the Spirit. Just a news article I got off on National News. It says, controlled demolition. All UK airports to close in next 10 years. Beef and land banned to stop climate change. Yeah, and just hearing that, man, it's at the level that society has moved towards, this entire world. You know who the world is ran under. Of course, it's ran under the Edomites, but the so-called white men. When you read Job 9 and 24, it says how the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. If not where, it says, the whole earth is given into the hand of the wicked, or the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not where, and who is he? Esau covered up the images of the judges, and who's, of course, the main top judges? Of course, it's the Heavenly Father and the Son themselves. The scriptures speak about, when you read Daniel 7 and 9, Daniel chapter 10, verse 6, Revelation 1 and 14 through 15. It gives you the appearance of the Most High. And we know, of course, he looks like a so-called Negro, so-called black man, dark skin. We know this Edomite covered up the faces of the judges. Well, he iconoclasm, the Russian icons, whatever, or not, the Russian icons and stuff. But Esau covered up a lot of these images. When you go on Wikipedia, type in stuff like John the Baptist, but you get a so-called white man, right? When you type in the Messiah, you get a so-called white man, right? That's, of course, because this Edomite has covered up the faces and put his own image. When you look at Jesus Christ, which that's not even the Messiah's name, that's a falsified name. But what? The world likens this guy to be, the son of the Heavenly Father. How does he look like? He's based off of the image of Cesare Borgia. He's based off the image of Cesare Borgia, who was the sixth pope, who was the son of the sixth pope of Renaissance Rome. So what, he go ahead and slap the images, change the images of the Heavenly Father and put his own face on it. And ever since this devil has been ruling, ever since Esau has been in power, the earth has been in a decline, a fast, rapid decline, man. We're seeing how the state of the earth is because, the so-called white man is ruling. That's why. So let's get into this article. It says, in order to meet its 2050, and keep in mind, these devils believe that they will go, past. These devils really believe they will go past 2050. Within Esau's, time frames he got for all of it, he's not factoring the Most High coming back. This devil likes to push. For example, this devil, you got a lot of Christian Edomites who they apparently can't wait for the Son of the Most High to come back. Which, keep in mind, the Messiah is only coming back for the Israelites. He's not coming back to save all the other nations. That would make no sense. Because within the kingdom of heaven, there are going to be slaves. There are going to be heathen being used. Of course, all the heathen will be slaves. Scriptures speak about how the Lord will rule over other nations with a rod of iron. If all nations will be saved, then how would that be fulfilled? When you read scriptures like Jeremiah 14, it shows you right there how we will have slaves. The Israelites will have slaves. So it says what? The United Kingdom, and it says what? In order to meet its 2050 zero emissions climate goals. And then what? When I look up Psalms 2:1, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, so why the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So why do these people believe that they can do, basically, hey, all the heathen, not even just Esau, you got China thinking that, they can make a false sun. Like, what I mean by sun, like a false sun in the sky, the sun that be shining. These guys are literally thinking about making a false version of the sun or whatever. It says what? The NIV. Why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? In the NLT, it says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? Exactly. Why? Because at the end of the day, Yahweh will send back his son Yahweh Shai, completely disrupt everything, especially Esau, that these devils have planned. Like the scriptures say, let's get real quick. Job 20:14, it says, well, let's go to 15. It says, he has swallowed down riches. Who's that speaking about? Speaking about the Edomite. Or we can start at verse 5 and we'll skip down. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, or verse 4, knowest thou this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Exactly. So the time of the wicked man is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is only but for a moment. Because what? How long has this devil been in rulership? Since the Renaissance period. Before the Renaissance period, Esau likens that period, of course, onto the Dark Ages. Why? Because that was a time for Esau, that was a time of darkness. He wasn't in rulership. So, that was a dark period for him. And of course, another way you can put it, the Dark Ages is when the Israelites were ruling. The Israelites, of course, are so-called, or the southern kingdom of the nation Israel. The tribe of Judah, the head tribe of the nation of Israel, are what? So-called black men, right? They have dark skin. Even the northern kingdom had very dark skin. Even at that time, dark skin, or Rudy, so-called Native Americans or Latinos. And of course, we know Esau. After the 1600s, Esau was coming here, or 1492, Esau was coming here, and then we obviously know the northern kingdom kind of lightened up. But what, even the scriptures say how Ephraim is like Ephraim, if you don't already know, it can refer to the northern kingdom of the nation Israel, or it can refer to the so-called Puerto Ricans, which the Ephraimites are the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So what says how Ephraim is like a cake unturned? Of course, when you put, let's say some bread, non-bread, whatever, in the oven, if you just put it in the oven real quick, you take it out, you don't flip it, you're going to have one side is, it's a little bit, what's the word I want to say? It's a little bit toasted, but, on the other side, you flip it and then it's a lot darker, right? That's how Ephraim's like, Ephraim got like They got, basically that skin tone. So going back to the point, Job 20:5, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah, so even though we've been in slavery for a pretty long time, because we still are in slavery in these current days, the Israelites are still in slavery. We haven't gone back to our land. We're not able to, just go back to our land. Esau, is not planning on setting up, basically, sending us back to our land so we can, if we go back to our land and we have our freedom, and we're under serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, this devil knows what's next after that. He'll obviously, his whole rulership will be threatened because we will obviously rise up and become stronger. So even though we're not in chattel slavery, we're corporate slaves, we're mentally slaves. Well, Esau funds billions of dollars into these religions, so we stay asleep. He pushes these false idols like Jesus Christ and, Islam and all this on our people, Christianity, whatever, on our people, man, so that we remain asleep. So that we can't, so we remain mentally and spiritually slaves under Esau. Esau knows once we come back onto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Israelites, his whole rulership is threatened, man. Because we speak, first of all, we expose the devil, Esau, for what he is. We of course, the Lord uses us to do this work. But we bring out the Bible and it's 100% truth. It's Esau didn't just spend billions of dollars, man, to try to keep the truth away from us. That we're the true Israelites, that we're the true children of the Most High. He didn't do that for no reason. He knows, of course, that knowledge is power. So us having knowledge of our true heritage, us having power, or us having knowledge of the Most High's true name and his only begotten Son's true name, he knows what that can bring because he studied the scriptures. At the end of the day, Esau's not an idiot, man. He studied the scriptures. He knows once the Israelites are in, basically on good terms with the Most High, concerning them not going off and them, coming back onto the Lord. Basically, it's literally within history, man. All these captivities we've been through, and you read chapters like the Maccabees, Exodus. You seen how the Lord delivered the Israelites from those captivities, man. You read like Solomon. When Solomon was in, when a righteous king and, the whole nation of Israel was in, basically righteous state, you seen what happened, man. So Esau already knows Esau not about to play that game. That's why, again, he spent so much money into deceiving us. Or, so much money into deceiving us with these religions and keeping us asleep. Keeping us working these jobs so we're constantly distracted. Or so, we stay distracted. We don't actually open our eyes until what's really going on. It's no coincidence this society's set up so we got to work 8 to 12 hours a day. Back then that, us, the work week definitely wasn't, 60, 80 hours a week. Back then in the ancient times. Even the brother, Yacoba, in my camp, GMS Philadelphia, of course, he was even bringing out, in the ancient times, we had our farmland, we had our animals. The most we would work is probably around, 3 to 4 hours a day. It says what? Verse 6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Yeah, so this completely links up with what? Obadiah 1:18. Esau will perish forever. Many scriptures that speak about the judgment of Esau, the judgment that Esau will receive. Why? For his transgressions against the nation of Israel, against the Lord himself, and against the whole entire earth. Esau will pay. It says, verse 8, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Verse 9, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Yeah, we're seeing how, you got some of these Edomites, who are trying to, which at the end of the day, it's, scriptures say how even though hand joined hand in hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, basically paraphrasing. Just because you see Edomites, they might, you see on Google, you see Edomites, who put chains on themselves and with shirts that say I'm sorry, alluding to the slavery, whatever. Come on, man. The Lord's not going to look upon all that phony shit, man. Hey, Esau's going to catch his judgments at the end of the day. Skimming down to verse 15, he has swallowed down riches. Yeah, how has he swallowed down riches? By bloodshed, by slaughter, by stealing, robbing, pillaging, deceiving. Esau has swallowed down those riches, man, in a proud manner. And he, read what? Habakkuk chapter 2. It's right there, man, speaks how Esau has, basically gotten his riches, and, he stole lands. He slaughtered, committed mass bloodshed within, these lands, man, in order to gain his riches. It says, verse 15, he has swallowed down riches, he shall vomit them up again. Or it says, he has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Yeah, we know what Esau's really trying to prepare for is this NWO. Basically, the show, we know that MOTB, the mark of the you-know-what, beast, the RFID implant, will be heavily used within this NWO that Esau's coming up with, man. So, what? Verse 15, yup. And he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. So everything this devil's trying to plan, the Most High is going to overthrow it. Put it back onto this devil, man. The Lord's going to flip everything over, man, that this devil got planned. And all of his plans will be cast away. It says, verse 16, you shall suck the poison of asp, the viper's tongue shall slay him. You shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks, the honey and butter. Yeah, and that's literally going into the MWO. That's literally what Esau's really, planning for. Because what is it, what's within this MWO, of course, that Esau wants so bad? It's ultimate control. If Esau can get everybody CHIP'd, he can put implants within everybody. So everybody's connected to the grid. He already got these 5, generation towers set up. And he's already planning on getting the sixth generation out there. If he can get everyone connected to the grid, bodies are connected to the grid. Hey, he's able to have mass monitoring and control. And Esau at the end of the day, so-called white man, he wants to be like the Most High. The national bankers who are the national bankers are the elite national bankers are the ones who are heavily pushing for this NWO. They're the ones who basically made up this plan. Verse 18, that which he hath, or that which he labored for, it says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Yeah, because why? This devil will be put into slavery. Read scripture in Revelation that says, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with his sword shall be killed with the sword, basically paraphrasing. So he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. Read what? Isaiah 14. Other scriptures like how speaking about basically paraphrasing Revelation, how literally the Lord will rule over the other nation with a rod of iron. And we will, and the ones who follow after the Lord will rule with a rod of iron, the servants, the saints of the Most High. Verse 19, yeah, exactly. So Esau stole all of this gold and, all these resources from everybody. Well, mainly from the Israelites. When you hear about how much gold was in the land of America, how much gold, man, this devil, stole and put it in his safes, his reserves. Verse 19, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Exactly. Yes, he hath oppressed the poor. He has oppressed us, man. And who's the poor? The Israelites. As a whole, the Israelites are poor, man. When you look at the statistics, you'll see how the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos are on the bottom of that list. Why? Because it's designed that way. It's systematically designed for us to be at the bottom. So right there, that's prophecy. That shows you how, literally those statistics show you right there that that's prophecy being fulfilled. And this devil, it says forsaken and has forsaken the poor. Yeah, because he has done nothing, man, to restore unto us our land. He has not given us back. He has not given back the so-called Native Americans and Latinos of their land. Really, if Esau really want to make reparations, first of all, he will put himself in slavery. He will give back the Native American Latino man their land. Or really, he will give the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos their land, the land of Israel. It always has been our land. And he'll give us back the land of America. And he will completely give up his whole entire rulership and transfer it onto us. Until he does that, he has not given back reparations. And this devil, compared to what he has, we haven't received crumbs because he got some of these programs, like these fucking reservations or whatever, or, these Indian reservations. Which that's literally crumbs, man. That's nothing. And you got even the brother Mayim, within the brother Mayim within, of course, the GMS Philly camp. He even brought out how, Esau basically set up, you got a term called $5 Indian, which is it's basically Edomites claiming Most of them are just Edomites claiming, that they have Native American history or Native American ancestry. So Esau being able to do that, he was able to, take those reservations. So really, it's Esau trying to look good, but really, taking back, really just stealing it again. So it's a bunch of crafty ways and deceitful ways this devil, be going about things. And the Lord sees all of that. Esau thinks he's slick. Esau thinks that, he's so crafty and, he's so slithery that he can, wiggle his way through the eyesight of the Lord. And that's literally a vain thing. That's Esau imagining a vain thing because the Lord sees everything. Scriptures say how the Lord's eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun, right? It says, because he has finally taken away, continuing on Job 20:19. It says, because he hath finally taken away in the house which he builded not. And that's literally no explanation, man. I don't got to do no explanation. How is Esau taken away, in house which he built not? Obviously, you look at the land of America. You look at the land of Israel. What? And many other places, he completely stole. He basically took what was over there already, and he built up. He basically built upon that foundation. And within the land of America, slavery, obviously. Verse 20, he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. Exactly. So he's not going to be at, Esau thinks that, because what? At the end of the day, him completing his NWO, it's him basically, okay, finally, we achieved our plans. We done everything. Now, we can enjoy our, our NWO that we have brought about. Nah, man, Esau not going to get to that point. Why? Because it's scriptural. The Lord promised that this devil won't get to that point. Verse 21, there shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. Verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah, because even the other nations, again, when you read scriptures like Revelation 17, Revelation 18, Jeremiah 50, all these precepts speak, show you that these other nations will make an alliance with one another to destroy Babylon the Great, which represents America. Verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, going to the MWO, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Yeah, so while Esau, is cooked up, just finished cooking up, everything. He's about to eat, or while he's eating, he didn't even finish his food yet. Hey, the Lord's gonna bring everything upon him, man, right there. So, Khan, I know, but hey, you gotta break stuff down within the scriptures. I know we haven't really gotten to the article, but going back to the article, it says the United Kingdom must eventually shut down all of its airports, ban all of its residents from eating beef and lamb, and put an end to all new construction everywhere. Yeah, so according, and what? You might be like, that's a complete absurd. That's completely absurd to think about. to actually, just think about that. But what the article right here, National News, says that this is the recommendation of scientists from the University of Oxford and the Imperial College London, who fear that allowing humans to live normal lives for too much longer will lead to the downfall of the planet as it melts into a puddle of warming. So apparently, this is from top-level scientists. Oxford University. When you think about, the University of Oxford, you think about, one of the top universities, in the U.S. Only the best, the so-called best of the best, can attend that school. But you got, apparently these top scientists are making these completely, stupid claims, or, claims that, this will help the society. And then just to get into it, because, national news, they're definitely not get pulling that out of nowhere. I looked it up. Why do they want to ban lamb and beef? It says the students singled out lamb and beef specifically because both have the greatest environmental impact in comparison to other animal products. Lamb emits 39.2 kilograms of CO2 to produce 1 kilo, or 2.2 pounds. It says, whereas beef has 27 kilograms of CO2 per kilo, according to Business Insider. So apparently, this is according to Esau, some Edomite students. No doubt about it. Apparently animals have the effect, or, they're able to, they apparently make a large impact on the CO2 levels on the earth. Let's completely forget about the cars, the factories, and all these literal other, these production facilities. Yeah, let's go ahead and forget about these, sources of, CO2 being pushed out in the air or whatever. And at the end of the day, CO2 is not a bad thing, completely bad thing that, people buy. Because at the end of the day, the plants need CO2, right? The earth was completely destitute of CO2, or, if there's no CO2 within the earth, of course, there will be no balance, because obviously the plants need CO2. If there's no plants, there's no life, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and forget about the factories, and let's go ahead and forget about, these, how much pollution just creating a lithium battery, Tesla battery cost. Let's forget about how these factories and, all these, basically all these things that pollute the earth, they pollute the water, it creates runoff, right? Let's completely forget about that and let's focus on animals, apparently, because they apparently have a large impact on the CO2 levels in the earth. This that right there is Rye. This dude, this so-called white man, he's a devil, man. And you got Jake, he was trying to, buck up against that. You got some Jakes who Edomite hold the door open for them. Esau's not all that bad. The same exact way the reason why the Lord's going to destroy these Jakes. And the Lord's going to destroy a lot of these, because a lot of, there's a 2/3 of the nation of Israel and there's a 1/3. The 2/3 of the nation Israel will die, they won't receive salvation, and the 1/3 of the nation Israel will receive salvation. A lot of these 2/3, literally, the Lord will put them to death by Esau. Because scriptures say how this, Syrian, the rod of mine, anger. Because what? At the end of the day, the Lord controls Esau. The Lord controls everything. And the Lord controls what Esau does on the planet. So it says what? Between 2020 and 2029, every last airport in the UK, excluding Heathrow in London and the two major airports in Glasgow and Belfast, will need to close its doors. Then between 2030 and 2049, Heathrow, Glasgow, and Belfast will need to be shuttered as well, meaning no more air travel. Yeah, because we know at the end of the day, Esau wants to implement these 15-minute cities. Go ahead and look it up. Look up 15-minute cities. And you'll see before your eyes exactly what Esau wants to do. Insert within this society we live in. Scriptures say how, Second Esdras, how, let's go ahead and get it. Getting give me a second, brothers. Yeah, 2 Esdras 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because we know, especially, we got a taste of that, right? When we were in lockdown during 2020. You've seen how travel was restricted. We seen how air travel was restricted in a certain manner. So it's not far-fetched to see that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Especially once Esau comes down with martial law, there will be checkpoints set up. Of course, obviously the air travel will be restricted, especially when all mayhem is out on the streets. Martial law is on the streets. Famine at its peak. Robbing, stealing, killing at its peak. Obviously, it's going to be restrictions, within travel. Going back to the article, it says, all of this is necessary in order for the UK to obey the dictates of the Climate Change Act, which prohibits all activities that create any kind of emissions. Really, if Esau, says, since about every action emits something, the climate cultists are essentially calling for the mass genocide of humanity as a final solution to climate change. Yeah, because we understand Esau wants to bring down the population to 500 million. Read the Georgia Guidestones. Esau wants to bring down the global population to what? 500 million. Because apparently this is the number that Esau, or the elites of Esau, which are what the national bankers have deemed, a controllable number. They think 500 million is a number that they can control, apparently. So that's why they want that number, as a global population. So really, if this devil was so adamant and, 100% focused on apparently, fixing or, for this climate change that we're going through, he completely changed the way we live and go back onto the traditional way of living. You see the ancient way of living, how that completely benefits the earth, especially when you follow after the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And of course, we know that's only given onto the Israelites to follow. But when Solomon was ruling and the earth was in a state of 40 years of peace, that's because the laws, statutes, and commandments were in effect. The keeping and following after the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai was in effect, obviously, right? And within the scriptures, there's, laws like the 7-year period, or basically, there's a law basically where you let the land rest after, I believe, what is it? I believe every 7th year you let the land rest for the whole year. And that right there lets, the land, rest, obviously. But what, this devil, what, Esau had farms open since, 100 years ago, and he's never stopped tilling them. So my point is, if Esau was 100% adamant in, helping the climate, stopping all this pollution, or, lowering the CO2 levels, or whatever he's saying, he'll completely go back into the traditional way of living. Ever since the industrial period, or the industrial revolution, the earth has been on a decline like never before, right? So really, if he was so focused, he'll completely change the way of the society and go back to the traditional way of living. Take down all these factories and, all these ways of traveling. But what? And obviously, we're within the society, so we obviously got to use these cars, and we obviously got to, we obviously got to use these things in order to get by in the society. But what? Esau, at the end of the day, he has power. This devil has the power to change that. But what, he doesn't want to. Why? Because he's making a lot of money. He's making a lot of wealth off of, having society like this. But what is it doing? The major disadvantage is what it's doing to the earth and what it's doing to the people. Then it says, UK want to speed up net zero targets from 2050 to 2035. And that's more of what that's more of the heathen imagining vain things. Esau's imagining vain things, thinking that, first of all, it's funny that this devil thinks he's gonna be able to rule forever. But he's able. Basically, it's funny thinking that Esau really thinks that he's gonna rule forever. But that's okay, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is near, and these prophecies happening because everything I'm reading right now is all prophecy. Scriptures speak about, we know we're at the end. Scriptures speak about what you read Matthew chapter 10, or you read in Matthew chapter 10, Matthew chapter 24, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16. What? When we focus on Matthew 10 and Matthew chapter 24, well, Yahushua right there spoke about rumors of wars, famines, pestilences. The men waxing cold, or the iniquity waxing cold, which means basically the people's hearts turning cold, man, out here, and when we see that. We're seeing, the famine is already here. But we're seeing how close that peak of the famine is. We're seeing how close World War III is. We're seeing how you already got the Russian and Ukraine war. And we're seeing the rumors of wars of World War III, and we know it's right around the corner. China, is already in China and Russia are in other countries are making alliances with one another. Jumping right to the prophecy of what? Revelation 17, of these nations destroying Babylon the Great, which is America, with fire. Which that fire, of course, is symbolic. Well, I mean, it's literal onto the nuclear fire, the nuclear missiles. Because, of course, nuclear missiles emit, fire, right? It's a nuclear fire, which is highly devastating, and destructive. We're seeing that main prophecy, which is what? The MOTB. So we know we're at the end. We know we're at the end where Yahushua is about to make his return, man. Especially that that MOTB, which is the RFID implant. Read Revelation 13 and 16. And we're at the point where this devil, he's trying to demonize the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which it shows to be the men in great millstone, along with the like-minded brothers with the same doctrine as great millstone. We're over here being demonized for teaching the truth. Our videos get taken down. Hey, it's not for no reason. So we're at the end, man. And this devil, he's about to be taken out of rulership. So we just want to bring that real quick. Lord, really bless out that edified. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakurash, Barakathum. Shalom.